Have you ever been punished for doing the right thing? Imagine knowing that obeying God could cost you everything. Most people would be afraid. Most people would stay quiet. But one man chose faith over fear. His name was Daniel, and what happened to him became one of the greatest miracles in the entire Bible. Long ago, Daniel lived in the kingdom of Babylon. He was known throughout the land as a man of wisdom, honesty, and integrity. Daniel worked faithfully for the king and always did what was right. Because of his wisdom and character, King Darius trusted Daniel more than almost anyone else in the kingdom. In fact, the king planned to place Daniel in charge of the entire kingdom. But not everyone was happy about that. Many of the other officials became jealous. They wanted Daniel's position. They wanted his influence. And they wanted his power. So they began searching for a way to bring Daniel down. They carefully examined his work. They searched his records. They looked for mistakes. They looked for dishonesty. They looked for corruption. But Daniel was faithful in everything he did. No matter how hard they searched, they found nothing. Daniel was honest. He was trustworthy, and he always did what was right. Then the officials realized something important. The only way to trap Daniel would be through his faith in God. So they came up with a plan. The officials gathered together and went to King Darius. They praised the king and encouraged him to make a new law. For 30 days, no one would be allowed to pray to any god or person except the king himself. Anyone who broke this law would be thrown into a den of lions. King Darius listened to their request. Believing it was a good idea, he signed the law. Once signed, the law could not be changed. When Daniel heard about the new law, he knew exactly what it meant. He knew praying to God could cost him his life. But Daniel also knew something else. He trusted God. So Daniel returned to his home. Just as he had done every day before, he opened the windows facing Jerusalem. Then he knelt down and prayed. He thanked God. He worshipped God. And he trusted God. Daniel did not hide. He did not panic. He simply remained faithful. Hidden nearby, the jealous officials watched everything. The trap had worked. They had finally caught Daniel praying. The officials rushed to King Darius. They reminded him of the law he had signed. Then they told him about Daniel. The king was shocked. He immediately realized he had been tricked. King Darius respected Daniel. He cared about Daniel, and he desperately wanted to save him. For the rest of the day, the king searched for a way to rescue Daniel. But the law could not be changed. As the sun began to set, Daniel was brought before the king. The time had come. Daniel would be thrown into the lion's den. Before Daniel was taken away, King Darius spoke to him. He said, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Then Daniel was led to the den. A large stone covered the entrance. The king sealed it with his own signet ring. No one could enter, and no one could leave. Inside the den, darkness surrounded Daniel. The sounds of lions echoed through the cave. Powerful lions moved through the shadows. Their eyes reflected in the darkness. Anyone else might have been terrified. But Daniel trusted God. Then something incredible happened. God sent his angel. The lions became calm. Their mouths were shut. The animals that should have attacked Daniel became peaceful. All through the night, Daniel remained safe. Meanwhile, back at the palace, King Darius could not sleep. He refused food. He refused entertainment. He spent the entire night worrying about Daniel. As soon as the first light of morning appeared, The king hurried to the lion's den. His heart raced as he approached. When he reached the entrance, he called out with a trembling voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" For a moment, there was silence. Then a voice answered from inside the den, "May the king live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him." King Darius was filled with joy. Immediately, he ordered his servants to lift Daniel out of the den. As they pulled Daniel to safety, everyone saw something amazing. Not a single injury was found on him, not one scratch, not one wound. Daniel was completely unharmed because he trusted God. The king was amazed by what had happened. Soon afterward, King Darius issued a new decree throughout the kingdom. Everyone was to respect the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. His kingdom will never be destroyed. His power will never end. He rescues, he saves, and he performs miracles. Daniel continued to prosper throughout the kingdom. His faith had remained strong, and God had protected him through one of the greatest tests of his life. Daniel's story reminds us that doing the right thing is not always easy. Sometimes following God requires courage. Sometimes faith means trusting God when we cannot see the outcome. But just as God was with Daniel in the lion's den, he's with us through every challenge we face. No matter how difficult life becomes, we can trust God, because God is faithful, and he never abandons those who trust him. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. Daniel chapter 6, verse 22.